What's going on, guys? This is Dylan. You're tuned into Pigskin Podcast. So the Indianapolis Colts have added some help in the run game from Marlon Mack and the entire unit by signing Roosevelt Nix, former Steeler fullback, to their 90-man roster on a one-year contract. The details as far as money goes on the contract have not yet been announced by the team, but I'm sure that's something we'll get within the next couple of days. Nix was released by the Pittsburgh Steelers after they decided to move forward by signing Derek Watt to their roster. He'll be joining his brother, now teammate TJ Watt, in Pittsburgh, and now Roosevelt will be heading to Indianapolis to represent the shoe. As far as the signing goes, it goes two ways. As a Colts fan, it is pretty surprising. The fact is we haven't had a pure fullback lead blocker since Stanley Havili back 6-7 years ago. Typically the Colts like using dual tight end sets for lead blocking. I mean, we've even had some of our offensive linemen. Quentin Nelson was back there last year in the lead block position. So typically, we don't usually have a pure fullback back there. So typically we're an aerial attack type of offense with having the luxury of having Peyton Manning and Andrew Luck in the past. Now, seeing the direction the team's going and seeing the way that Frank Reich is trying to build this offense, he's made it blatantly known that he wants to have a top 5 rushing attack. He said it over and over and over again that being top 5 in the rushing game will definitely open up some opportunities for the passing game. We almost got that last year at being top 7 in 2019 in the rushing game, so we're a couple pieces away. And obviously adding this piece to the puzzle with a fullback is definitely going to be beneficial. It opens up options as far as the play action passes go, the deep shots down the field, something that we tried to do last year with Jacoby, just it wasn't really working out. That's why we obviously signed Phillip Rivers, because he's pretty good at chunking the ball down the field. Speaking of Phillip Rivers, I think it's going to take a lot of pressure off of him. He's getting a little bit older up there in age. Health isn't a problem for Phillip Rivers whatsoever. He's played, I think, 224 games in a row. So, he plays the whole season, basically every season of his entire career. But as he gets older, and obviously he's an immobile quarterback, just the fact of having a lead blocker, somebody that can help, even in the passing game, he can help block, those edge rushers. It's going to take a lot of pressure off Phillip Rivers as far as having to throw the ball as much. We're going to be able to run the ball more. He's not going to get hit as much, and he's not going to get hurt as much, which in turn is going to definitely help lower that interception ratio. It's going to take our run game to the next level. Marlon Mack had his first 1,000-yard campaign last year, our first since 2016 with Frank Gore, and it's just something the Colts don't typically see as a 1,000-yard rusher. I mean, even before Frank Gore had his 1,000-yard rushing season, we hadn't had one in almost a decade. I mean, we thought we were going to get it with Trent Richardson, and that was just a complete bust of a signing for us. So the fact that we finally got one and we got a fullback, I think it's definitely going to help. Just these little tiny things that keep happening for the Colts, I think they're sneaky good signings. I think it's something that's definitely going to help us in the 2020 season. The fact that we were able to bring back Anthony Costanzo at the left tackle position is huge. I don't know how many years he's going to play, just because of the fact that he was contemplating retirement, so we're probably going to have to draft a left tackle just to have somebody to replace him within the next couple seasons. But just the fact that we were able to bring him back and have some continuity on the offensive line, him, Ryan Kelly, Quentin Nelson, Glowinski, and who am I missing? Braden Smith. All 5 of those guys played over 1,000 snaps last year. The guy's 28 years old. He's still got a lot of football left in him. 5'11", 260 pounds. He's going to be able to get up under those shoulder pads of the defensive linemen, get in the way of the linebackers, and help Marlon Mack get to the second and third level of the defense. And obviously we know that once Marlon Mack's in the second or third level of the defense, it's pretty hard for him to get chased down no matter who you are. So for Marlon Mack to come off a 1,000-yard season and now get a fullback finally to help him out, I think he can keep that going, and maybe we'll see a couple 1,000-yard seasons back to back, and get him into the Pro Bowl and get our offense just going on different cylinders. I think it's something Colts fans should definitely be excited about. It's not a splash signing. It's not something you're going to see all over ESPN, all over the place. He's a one-trick pony as far as lead blocking goes. He's played 5 years and he's only had 4 carries and 12 catches, but that doesn't mean anything. he's not brought onto the roster to be a pass catching back. He's a lead blocker and he does it well. He had a Pro Bowl nod back in 2017 with the Steelers when he paved the way for Le'Veon Bell to have 1,300 rushing yards damn near. And I think, like I said, Colts fans should be extremely excited if Marlon Mack can have anywhere near 1,300 rushing yards next year and get back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. It's definitely a win in our book. The fact that we don't have to sign him to, a huge bonus or just a huge contract in general, just fullbacks don't typically go for millions on millions of dollars. We're basically getting him for nothing, and it's going to do nothing but help us. I mean, having somebody to help lead block for Marlon Mack isn't going to do anything to hurt the roster at all. So, it's very low risk, high reward as far as the team goes. I mean, maybe Nix can even come in there and lead block for Quentin Nelson so he can redeem himself for that 1 yard just fail of a touchdown he had last year, and they got that cake stand going, that cake stand celebration. So I think it'll really help out. I think it'll bring a little bit more dynamic to the offense. So tell me what you guys think. L for like, D for dislike. Tell me in the comments what y'all think. And thanks for listening. This is Dylan. This is Pigskin Podcast.